Hello, my dear friends. This past month, I had an amazing experience in Eretz Yisrael. My mother's Yartzeit is Chaf Daled Adar. This year, my mother passed away, and there was one Adar. This year, there's two Adars, so the Yartzeit is celebrated twice. I just said Kaddish for my mother on the Yartzeit this past Wednesday, but when I was in Eretz Yisrael, I celebrated the Yartzeit as well. Originally, I was planning to come home from Eretz Yisrael. I was there for the mission. I was planning to come home Motzei Shabbos, and then I realized suddenly, what am I doing? The Monday is my mother's Yartzeit. I didn't realize when I made the ticket. So I immediately changed the ticket, and I took the opportunity. I was in Eretz Yisrael. I went to the cemetery. I was never at my mother's kever, my mother's grave, for the Yartzeit. It was such an amazing experience. It was so moving to be in the presence of my mother and my father as well. My father, of course, is buried next to my mother. And to be there on the day of the Yartzeit, this was, my mother passed away 37 years ago. I never had that opportunity. And this was such a special time. And I realized, as I stood by my mother's kever, that even though it's 37 years since my mother passed away and my father passed away 9 years ago, they continue to be a tremendous presence in my life. They continue to influence me. They continue to inspire me. And this is something special about Yehadus. We live in the past. We learn ancient texts. We learn about the Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, and we learn about Moshe Rabbeinu and the others. Ancient history. But we use ancient history, we use the past to inspire the future. And our parents, no matter how long ago they are deceased, they continue to inspire us. They continue to inform us. They continue to mold who we are. And just as growing up, they raised us and they were mechanech us. They continue to be a powerful influence of chinuch in our lives. And standing at my mother's grave, and I was thinking about the fact that my mother always gave me encouragement, no matter how bad I did. My mother said, "Yankee, you did terrific." I would come home with a report card with 4 D minuses. I wasn't such a great student when I was younger. My mother said, "Yankee, you did terrific." I said, "Ma, I got a D minus." She says, "You tried your hardest, right? You did good. Don't worry. You're fantastic." And my father also was the same way. He always, my mother and my father on the same page. They always gave me encouragement and positive attitude, optimism, and there's always a new start. And don't worry. Next time you'll get a better grade. Next time you'll do better. And you're doing terrific. It's fantastic what you were accomplishing. And I could feel, standing by the camera, I could hear my parents talking to me. And I realized that that's the significance of a Yartzeit. Is not, you think that the Jews are morbid people, because we give tremendous attention to a Yartzeit. We say Kaddish, and then when it comes Yontif, we say Yizkor. We're always thinking about our deceased parents. But we're not thinking about people who are no longer alive. It's people that are still living, because their memory continues to inspire and inform inspire us and inform who we are. I was thinking that this Shabbos is Parashas Hachodesh. There's 4 Shabbosim before the Rosh Chodesh Nisan. This is the last of the 4. Parashas Hachodesh. The reason why it's called Parashas Hachodesh is because we read in the Torah, before Yetzias Mitzrayim, that Moshe Rabbeinu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, HaChodesh is Elechem Rosh Chodashim. Tell the Jewish people that this is the first month of the months of the year. And why is that so important? We read that portion of the Torah. Why do we make a special Shabbos, Parshas HaChodesh? It's true, we read that in the Torah, but why is that so significant? So I was thinking, because Pesach is the same Pesach every year. It's the same Haggadah, it's the same story, it's the same Nigunim, it's the same foods, it's the same matzah, it's the same maror. Parshas Hachodesh says, don't think it's the same Pesach as it was last year or years past. It's every year. It's Chodesh. The word Chodesh means a month, but a month is called Chodesh because it's Chodesh. Every month there's a brand new moon. It's not the same moon as it was. I mean, it's the same moon that's up in the sky, but it disappeared and now it came back anew. And Parshas HaChodesh teaches that every year there's a new Pesach, there's a new revival, there's a new renewal, there's a new salvation, there's new Yeshua, there's new lessons. Torah is Torah's Chaim. It's a living Torah, and Torah inspires us anew every year. And when we celebrate Pesach, Pesach is not celebrated in the past. Pesach is celebrated in the present, and the present constantly changing. The world is so far away this year from where we were a year ago. It's such dramatic changes. It's particularly what's taking place in Eretz Yisrael, and it's 6 months, and we're still in the Gaza war, and so many tragedies have happened, so many people have died, and then so much greatness we've witnessed in Klal Yisrael. This is the context of this Pesach. Never was before. It's a new, and so therefore it's going to be a new Pesach, and it's not going to be the same old. It's with maybe we'll say over the same Divrei Torah, but it's with new insight and new understanding. In particular, I'm thinking about the Hisha Amdal Avasei V'Lano. Every year we say it's the same thing. We say V'Hishamda, and we have the same tunes that we sing. But it's a brand new V'Hishamda, because look how much meaning it has. Look how much significance. How did the Haggadah know? It was written probably 2,000 years ago, at least. How did it know when it wrote those words? Every generation, they're going to destroy us. Who says? I mean, how did they know? How did they even know the Klal Yisrael was going to survive? None of the other great cultures survived. They all disappeared. And the Jews are the most persecuted nation in the world. Look what's going on, the anti-Semitism today. You can't even explain it. Sociologists have no idea why they hate us so much. What's the reason for it? And the Jews never, for the past 2,000 years, we haven't had our own country. We should have disappeared off the face of the universe. But nonetheless, we're still here, and we still survived, and we're still persisting, and we're still doing the same mitzvahs, and we're still eating the matzah and the maror. How did that happen? So the Haggadah addresses it and says, "V'hi sha'amda l'Avosenu." This is the haftacha, the promise that God made to Avram Avinu in the Bris Bein Absarim. God's promise, it was 3,000 years ago. It still stands. Every single generation, there's going to be a new Amalek. There's going to be a new Haman. There's going to be a new Hamas. There's new terrorism. But so how are we surviving? God is saving us from their hands. So this Pesach is going to be so exciting and inspiring, because it talks to us. It talks to the situation in which we find ourselves, and we feel betrayed by people who we thought were our friends, and now they turned their back on us and they threw us under the bus. There's so much to talk about it, the Pesach Seder, and to point out that this is what we have to tell our children. Don't worry. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Matzileinu Miyadam. God is going to save us from their hands. He saved us from Egypt. He saved us from the Babylonians. He saved us from the Amalekim. He saved us from Haman. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He's going to save us today as well. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Matzileinu Miyadam. So that's Parashas Hachodesh. It's Chodesh. It's brand new. It turns out that doesn't turn out. The Torah says that Pesach is Chodesh Aviv. It's the month of spring. It's the month of renewal. Spring is amazing. You a month ago you drove down. I was driving down North 8th today. A month ago you drove down North 8th. It looks like everything was dead. The world, all the fall. There was no falling, no leaves. All the trees seemed to have died. I mean, not just North 8th, but just because I happened to drive down North 8th today. Today it's coming alive. I would say it's happens to be late spring because of cold weather. But there's blossoms on all the trees, and you can see that the trees suddenly spring to life. How does that happen? I didn't even know scientifically. I wonder. I'm sure the scientists have some explanation. But the real explanation is that's how Kadosh Baruch Hu created the world. That there's always renewal, and that's why Parashas Hachodesh is the word Chodesh, a month, is because our Chodesh is related to the moon. Hachodesh is Elohim. It means God showed Moshe the moon, and the moon is Chodesh. Every month there's a new moon. How does that happen? It disappears, and then it comes back. It renews itself, and it's such a powerful message. God put it up there in the Shemayim before us. In case you didn't get the message when you read in the Torah, look at the moon when it comes out and think, God's telling me, talking to me, that it's a new Chodesh, it's a new month. Doesn't matter what happened in the past. Doesn't matter how hard it was. Doesn't matter what the problems were. Doesn't matter how much you were persecuted. Doesn't matter how much suffering there was. It's a new month. It's a new beginning. HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem. Every month is new, and particularly the month of Nisan. It's Chodesh Aviv. It's the beginning of the spring, and the spring has sprung. Everything is now replenishing, and the world the foliage is growing, and it's just amazing. And so we have to. These are the things that we have to think about as we enter the month of Nisan, and when we'll sit down to the Pesach Seder. It's not going to be the same matzah. The matzah that we eat and the maror that we this year's maror is we're going to taste all the suffering that Klal Yisrael has had this past year, the unbelievable suffering, more tragedy in 1 year than any time since the Holocaust. So the Holocaust for most of us is something that we didn't experience, but we all experienced this together. We've gone through this. The maror is going to there's a new tam maror, there's a new taste in the maror, but we're going to eat the maror with the matzah. We make korach, we take the maror, and we say, we're not going to allow the maror to spoil our lives. We're not going to allow the terrorists and the haters and Hamas and all the Sonei Yisrael to destroy us, because we're going to eat it with the matzah, and the matzah is a siman of geula. It's Hachodesh, as we say in the Haggadah. We went me'afero shiba legula. We're going to go from subjugation to salvation. The world is going to be turned. Everything's going to be turned around. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu matzlein miyadam. And that's the message that we have to share with our children. They have to take current events and put them into the Haggadah. So it's a new Haggadah, and it's a new experience, and it's new. There's a new tam matzah. The matzah means now so much more. And the matzah I talk about all the time. Matzah combines the slavery with the freedom. It's a sign of avdus, and it's a sign of cheres, because they ate matzah when they left Mitzrayim, but they ate matzah when they were in Mitzrayim. So this is Parshas Hachodesh. So it ties in to what I was saying about the Yartzeit. The Yartzeit, our parents continue to inform us, and we live with the past. We read all these old texts. We read the Gemara, and we read the Chumash. It's not ancient. It's not outdated. It's not stale. It's all brand new every single year, because life is new. It's a new Yartzeit. My parents continue to inspire me in new ways. And the Yontif of Pesach continues to inspire us. And the message of Pesach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu matzlein miyadam, continues to give us inspiration. Let us hope in Mirz Hashem that in spite of all the tragedy that we've experienced this past year, it will be fulfilled. The words of the Haggadah will be fulfilled quickly in front of our eyes. HaKadosh Baruch Hu matzlein miyadam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will save us from their hands.